Hey everybody, Roxabox90 here with some major spoilers from the mothership. Yes, Theros spoilers have begun, and wow, did Wizards drop a whole ton on us. Fortunately, many of them we already have, and some of them are really not that great. But we're still going to hop into them, and we're going to start off with Nylea. Ha, I'm just kidding. We're going to start with Heliod because we already spoiled Nylea a while ago. Come on, Wizards. Keep up with the times. So we start off with Heliod, God of the Sun. Whoa, very flavorful. There's his awesome art, looking really gorgeous with the starry background. 3 and a white for a 5/6 indestructible. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, that seems to be a consistent trend, as Nylea does the same thing. It's going to be the less than 5. It's not a creature. Other creatures you control have vigilance? Really? Ugh, that's terrible. Really, Wizards? Really? 2 and 2 white, put a 2/1 white cleric enchantment creature token onto the battlefield. Wow. Alright, so that's really underwhelming after we've had Thassa spoiled. I had to say, Nylea's pretty decent, but Heliod, I mean, it's creature advantage. I'm sure it'll be really nice for token EDH decks that you can pump out tokens at all times, and they all have vigilance. But really, it's just not that good. Unless they show more stuff in the set that really takes advantage of his ability somehow, I'm really, really surprised, Wizard. That's just, you couldn't do like lifelink or something. Alright, moving on past the very disappointing head-hanging Heliod. 100-handed one, which is awesome. This card is embodying flavor, actually kind of like Underworld Cerberus. 2 and 2 white for a 3/5 vigilance with a 6 monstrosity 3. As long as it is monstrous, it has reach and can block an additional 99 creature. Okay, okay. Really? Wizards, you're being serious. I think that's a bit much. That's like pushing flavor. Really? Okay, fine. So 100-handed one literally becomes the 100-handed one when he goes monstrous. It can block 99 creatures. Seriously, I mean, he just becomes a 6/8. That's really not that huge. I was expecting something like he'd be, I don't know, a 5/11 or something that can go monstrous, but really 3/5. He's just there for flavor, I think, and it's pretty hilarious and pretty cool. The art is, of course, stunning, and that's just really funny. I mean, he could be good in, token swarm builds, or if there's some infinite combos. I mean, EDH, I'm sure he could be fun in that sense, that, the weird situation where he appears and there's like 99 creatures. I mean, that would be funny, but otherwise it's like, that's really reaching at Wizards. Nylea we already had spoiled, so thanks but no thanks, Wizards. That took too long. Phalanx Leader, we saw the art in the trailer. 2 white for a 1/1 heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Realize that includes Phalanx Leader. And wow, that's actually pretty decent, especially for larger token builds, because you play him, and then you play tokens, and then every time you target him, they all get stronger. For an uncommon, I think that's pretty powerful. Obviously, in order to keep it in check, they made it 2 white, but that's gonna be a pretty solid utility card for token-based EDH decks, especially the more casual ones. Definitely a nice budget card in that it's uncommon, and I don't think it's quite powerful enough to see constructed play, although if White Weenie, or especially White Weenie aggro, goes ahead with this format, he would probably be an all-star. Ember Swallower already spoiled. Wizards spoiled it, so nothing special. Wingsteed Rider, 3 for 2/2 flying. That's already pretty solid, even with the 2 white. Heroic, whenever you cast a spell that targets it, put a 1/1 counter on it. That's really, really powerful for a common. Even with the 2 white, that's a pretty solid limited pick. Obviously not constructed viable, but it does have some chance of seeing play in limited. So, pretty solid common, actually. Wave Crash Triton, 2 and a blue for heroic, 1/4. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, tap target creature and opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So that's actually pretty solid. We've seen cards like this before. We've seen it in form of spells. He's going to be pretty fun interaction, especially if Merfolk actually has the chance to become big, because you do something to make him more effective, more powerful, and you lock down an opponent's creature for a turn every single time. pretty solid. We'll probably see some cool plays in limited. Not likely to see full constructed play, but could play in some funky, more casual builds, I guess. Hammer Perforos already was spoiled. Cavern Lampet was already spoiled. Okay, Thassa's Emissary. So I guess we have here the Thassa Crab. It's an Emissary. Okay, whatever. It's 3 and a blue, 6 bestow for a 3/3. Whenever Thassa's Emissary or enchanted creature does combat damage, draw a card. Curiosity, it's pretty good. Enchanted creature gets 3/3. Wow. That's actually really solid, I have to say. 4 for a 3/3 is not bad, and those abilities are really, really great. That's could probably be a solid limited pick just because the regular creature is good enough and the bestow is rather excellent, especially in limited where you want to be able to draw cards. Very, very solid uncommon. Gray Merchant of Asphodel. 3 and 2 black for a 2/4. Whenever it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and you gain life equal to the loss. Very flavorful. Again, I don't know quite how effective it will be, but especially if mono black has presence, this could be even a finisher in format, which is really surprising for a common. It could, in fact, have a chance of being a finisher. Not because it's a 2/4, but because that ability is rather excellent, actually. And yeah, I have to say, quite impressed for a common. Karametra's Acolyte, 4 for a 1/4, tap, add an amount of green to your mana pool equal to your devotion to green. Well, EDH decks, I think you have another huge creature. Obviously, she costs 4, she's not one of the 1-drops, but that could potentially add a lot of mana in the right builds. Definitely has the chance of being played in certain aggro builds, because basically if you get her out turn 3 and then tap her out by turn 4, making your mana pool get up to 8 or 9, could be really, really, really fast. So, pretty cool. Like what they're doing with Devotion. It's really excellent. Nessian Asp. It's 2 heads, 5 for a 4/5 reach. That's monstrosity, but I think this is the first monstrosity that's done nothing else. It just makes her creature stronger, which is kind of cool. It's a common, again, nothing particularly special. The fact there's no death touch is kind of weird because asps tend to have some form of death touch, so that's strange. But yeah, especially because even the flavor text, it says 2 heads you should fear, it's the 4 fangs, but you shouldn't because there's no death touch, so I don't get it. Stone Shock Giant, very cool art. I think, was this in the trailer? Maybe one of the preview arts, I forget. 3 and 2 red for a 5/4, monstrosity. Whenever it becomes monstrous, creatures without flying your opponent's control can't block this turn, which is a big deal because that means he can likely swing in for 8 damage, and of course make your other creatures. It's a little expensive, again, it's uncommon, so it's not super powerful, but it is a solid 5 for a 5/4 alone. Could be pretty solid and limited, and that ability is a nice finisher. God's willing. That's kind of funny. God willing is the expression, so God's willing. It's cute. 1 white for an instant. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice. On end of turn, scry 1. This could be pretty good if you remember. I forget it was Faith's. No, what was that card called? There was a card from Innistrad that gave protection also from the color of your choice as an instant speed. The scrying is really nice, and this could mean gives the creature unblockable, to protect the creature and let you win a combat phase. It definitely has limited potential. It's probably fantastic even in limited as a good way to trade off and to get you ahead in the game for tempo. Very, very solid. Not constructed viable, I don't think. Omen Speaker, so yes, Serum Visions or a functional reprint of Serum Visions is out. It's 2 for a 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. So actually it's 2 for scry 2, which isn't bad at all. It's a 1/3 creature. You're probably going to run it because 2 scry 2, so it's not quite preordained, but it's really not terrible. Yeah, it is. It's a common. It's really not that good. Flame Speaker Adept is 3 for a 2/3. Whenever you scry, it gets 2/0 and gains first strike until end of turn. So again, it's a maybe limited, and that's about it. But think about it. Whenever you scry, I don't think we've seen that sort of stuff before. A lot, working with scry to give abilities, I like that. I hope there's better stuff here for scry. Artisan of Forms is 2 for a 1/1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets it, you may have it become a copy of target creature and gain this ability. That's pretty fabulous, actually. I am liking this. This is like a clone-like effect, 2 for a 1/1 drop, and I really like how the heroic works, how it can flicker on and off and become different creatures. Going to probably see some play in EDH, and could potentially have probably is constructed viable just because clones are awesome. So very, very cool, especially for mono blue decks. That's a really solid 2-drop. Sealock Monster, 5 for a 5/5. It can't attack unless the defending player controls an island. That's a sort of ability I haven't seen in a while. 7 for Monstrosity 3. Whenever it becomes monstrous, target land becomes an island. So you make it Monstrosity, then it can attack, or guarantee that it can attack. So again, limited, potential limited bomb, or even just a pretty solid limited beater, and has potential for a limited, and that's about it. Titan of Eternal Fire, 6 for 5/6. Each human creature you control has ping for 1, which could potentially end the game, especially if you have a lot of weenies. And if you remember that the red human guy we had a little while ago who makes other 1/1 humans with haste, this could potentially be a bit insane as a finisher if that guy actually sticks it out. So that is the billion spoilers. So we have a couple of cool things. Heliod is probably the most disappointing. 100-handed one is really funny and really flavorful. Not exactly that, actually useful, but yeah, you see what I mean. And a lot of other ones we already had spoiled. Nothing particularly wowing so far, which for the first day of spoilers is kind of sad. I think they were expecting us to have 2 gods in 1. That's supposed to be surprising. Luckily, you guys are subscribed to me, and you guys found out about this long before, or at least Nylea before they did, before they spoiled it for us. So let me know your thoughts about these spoilers below in the comment section as well. Check out my channel sponsors in the description of the video. And as always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.